The white light has always been attributed to the equivalent of God, Jesus bringing the white light, Buddha bringing the white light. Without people recognizing, we are the white light. But we are not shining in our whiteness at this moment, that each of us is a creator.
It's our heart that reads these energy fields.
The amount of resources available to 1.6 planet Earth. How much resources are we using, all of us here?
Wow.
Because living on the planet is harder and harder for individuals because of the destruction. In other words, the current civilization is in a state of collapse.
Reincarnation?
The theory of evolution by Darwin is wrong, and fundamentally, evolution is not based on competition. It's based on cooperation.
Dr. Bruce Lipton, welcome back on Just Tap In, brother. To begin today, I had an interesting question. I wanted to ask you, what is the return of the white light on this planet that we're currently seeing?
The white light has always been attributed to the equivalent of God, or someone representing, like Jesus bringing the white light, Buddha bringing the white light, okay? Muhammad bringing the white light. So the white light is like we're looking for something like, some godlike thing coming here. Without people recognizing, we are the white light. But we are not shining in our whiteness at this moment for the following reason. We're not recognizing that each of us is a creator. I'm creating my life. Emilio, you got your own life. You're creating your life, and people, everyone out here, you're creating your life. Creating is associated with God, creator. Okay? Oh, well, you're not the creator. You are a personal creator. Okay? And the fact is this. All of us are creating our lives. The difference between now and the white light is this. It's the number of people and a belief. When the belief reaches a number of people, it will start to manifest, okay? Not just for the one, but for a larger community. So civilization shares beliefs, and that's why the world is operating the way it is, because we all have standard beliefs that we are programmed with, okay? And right now, the beliefs are fractured in regard to, do we agree on things or not agree on things? And some of the things we agree on are very negative, so we're manifesting an agreed negativity because we didn't know it's negative, and if you believe it and you live it, and we all live it, then we're manifesting it. And so where's the white light? The lack of an insight of who we are. Because each of us, by definition, is a creator, but we're not the creator. I say, what is the creator? I say, all of us at one time, at the same moment, we're all at that moment creating. And all of us collectively are the white light. But we're not in harmony. And therefore, that light isn't shining at this moment. But that is an evolution. When we recognize, my God, we are creating this, and if it's not working right, then don't keep looking for some God that's creating it. We're doing it. Then all of a sudden that empowers us to do something different. And that's what evolution is about. When we take our power back because we have been systematically deprived of personal power by the programming that we got, especially in the first 7 years. And so the civilization is collectively disempowered with some very negative beliefs that we bought into. And Darwinian theory is one of the most destructive of the conventional beliefs of a whole civilization, because generally Darwinian theory is bought by the entire civilization. And if the theory is wrong, and we all are exercising it, then we are collectively self-destructive. And we'll get a chance to talk about that before this program's out, I'm sure.
And I know that right now you've mentioned that we're on a brink of an evolutionary leap or a mutation in our species.
Yes.
A lot of people might see the world right now and so much is collapsing. So many new paradigms are coming in.
Yes.
You know, we've recently seen a lot of the UFO disclosure things starting to come out, changing people's beliefs. Are we alone in this universe? What have you seen in terms of this transition from an old belief system into a new civilization? And how far are we from making that bigger transition that we've all prophesized and tuned into in our hearts?
It's interesting because I was going to say, how far are we from it? And I can say, I can't give you how far away we're from it, but I can tell you how far away we are from crashing. In other words, the current civilization is in a state of collapse. I can give you a time level for that. How long will the new one take? It could happen tomorrow. It could happen in years. I have no idea. Let's explain what's happening here, first of all. First big point. The world is in chaos. Everywhere you look, there's some form of chaos. Social, economic, racial, religious, how you say it, even gender chaos. And I go, so what does that mean? It says there's a state of disharmony. And I say, wow, all these different things. And I go, no. There's one overall destructive fact that the rest of these problems are coming from. I say, what is the overall problem? And it comes down to a simple insight. And I say, what is it? Science has recognized a very important fact. And I said, what? That how much resources are required for today's civilization? How much resources are we using, all of us here? And the answer is, the amount of resources used by today's civilization amounts to the amount of resources available to 1.6 planet Earth. I go, wait a minute. We need resources from 1.6 planets? I go, but we only have one. Aha, now there's a problem. I go, why? I say, we are getting the extra 0.6 from where? And the answer is destroying the ecosystem, destroying the planet, pillaging the resources, polluting the environment. All of these things we're doing to get all the toys that people want, to get all the hamburgers you can make. We're destroying the ecosystem. I go, so what's the issue? I go, we are the ecosystem. We are an expression of the ecosystem. We came from the garden. I go, what do you mean? I said, because most people's beliefs that we are some way separate from that garden. I go, like what? I said, well, Judeo-Christian beliefs, the Bible says that the garden was created and then humans were added after. So we are separate from the garden, okay? And that means that we look at the garden as something that we have been given, power over, okay? Dominion over the garden. And the fact is, no, we are the garden. We came from the garden. We evolved out of the garden. We are not separate from the garden. The belief of separation is what allowed us to destroy the garden, thinking that when somehow or other we're independent of the garden. I go, we are the garden, and number one. That's Judeo-Christian belief. And I go, yeah, but science didn't make it any better. I go, what do you mean? Science, how did we get here? Random mutations, accidents of evolution that change future generations. I go, but mutations are accidents. I go, yeah. Then I said, then why are we here? Science-wise? An accident. It's just an accident of mutations. I go, there's no connectivity to the reality of every organism is in a garden. I said, and here's the fact that you just got it. Boom! I go, what is it? A garden is not a battleground. A garden is the height of community. Everything in the garden supports everything in the garden, except us. We're destroying the garden under our feet. And so we're using the resources that we don't have. In a sense, we're stealing them from the garden. I go, so what's the consequence? And I say, science has recognized the fact of doing that. And this is a fact that civilization is facing, and I'm emphasize this word, irreversible collapse within 20 years. More likely within 10 years. We're facing a collapse of civilization. Why? Not sustainable. We don't have that many resources. And we're destroying the ecosystem, which is costing us, because living on the planet is harder and harder for individuals because of the destruction. So the point is simply this. The civilization is broken. It is using too many resources to keep it going. I go, so what's the problem? I said, well, we can't keep doing it. So I said, can you fix this civilization? I said, no, the whole foundation is broken. And I'll talk about it in a minute. But the major factor is the belief in Darwinian theory. It's undermining civilization, okay? So let's look at a fact here. Civilization's in chaos. I go, good. What do you mean, good? Everybody's like, oh my God, it's falling apart. And I'm going, no, good. Why? It's the problem. The way we are living is not sustainable. Can you fix it? No. Can it be reversed? No. What must we do? Build a new one, a new civilization. A futurist by the name of Buckminster Fuller wrote that years ago. He said, don't go in and fight the old civilization. Step outside, build a new and better civilization, and the people will show up. And so the fact is this. The fear of it falling apart is actually toxic. Why? Stress is responsible for 90% of the health crisis on this planet. The stress of surviving today is beyond anything. Do you have enough money for food? Do you have enough money to pay the rent? Do you have enough money to take care of your health? You have a vehicle to drive? You have enough money to put gas in it? And the point is what? Every one of these is a stressor releasing stress hormones. And stress hormones undermine the health system by interfering with the maintenance of the body and putting inhibitions or shutting down the immune system which protects us. So I go, okay, we're building stress because of this problem. Can we fix it? No, we have to step out. So if you're part of holding on to the world like, it will get better, it's not going to get better, and it's self-destructive. It's destroying itself. Okay, so I say, why? Because we're living out of harmony. And then comes the question, where is the disharmony? Two things from the same place. I go, what is it? Darwinian theory. And I go, what the hell does that have to do with it? The theory of evolution. Well, what's it based on? Heredity. I go, and what has that done? It led science to a belief that is wrong. The belief you have been living by, a belief that has been science, is a belief called genetic determinism. genes determine the character of your life. I was always taught, genes control your life. Well, as far as you know, you didn't pick them. If you don't like the characteristics, you can't change the genes. And then you are told the genes turn on and off by themselves. All of a sudden, you have to get one conclusion. You ready? I'm a victim of my heredity. If my life isn't working right, it's the genes. My father was lazy, so he had a lazy gene. I inherited his gene. I'm lazy too. Cancer is a gene. It's passed through the family. I go, you ready for this? There's not one gene that even causes cancer. Genes do not cause cancer. So where's cancer coming from? Living in a state of disharmony. It turns out lifestyle is the major cause of cancer. It takes a healthy gene and a bad lifestyle to create a toxic environment. And that toxic environment, cancer, did not come from the genes saying, I'm going to give you cancer. You're not a victim. For God's sakes, the new science is what's so important. Epigenetics, your mind is controlling the genes. Change your mind, and you change your genetic activity. So first, number one issue, believing we're a victim means we are powerless. That means that you lost your power right away. I'm a victim. My genes did it. I can't do anything. I have to pay somebody. Yeah, you pay the pharmaceutical company. You make them the second richest corporation on the planet underneath what? The defense industry, military defense. That's even got more money. But the fact is what? We have to take power back and then recognize if our thoughts are controlling our biology, then it's up to us to change those thoughts that are not helping. So number one. But number two, it's much more problematic. I go from Darwin's theory, the summary is survival of the fittest in the competition for or struggle for life. Okay? Survival of the fittest is competition. And I go, so what? It is not based on morality. What does that mean? Well, if you win more by hurting somebody, that's okay too. Why? As long as you win. At what cost? I don't care about the cost. Well, if you don't care about the cost, the 1% that owns this planet is also the drive force of why we're destroying this planet. Because where do you think they got the money from? And the idea is we are in a state of self-destruction because we're in a state of competition. And it turns out that the theory of evolution by Darwin is wrong, and fundamentally, evolution is not based on competition. It's based on cooperation. And this is what we have to learn, because it's competition between nations, between races, between religions, even competition between gender. Every one of these. And the idea is what? Competition, there was an original definition of competition. It's not used now. Today's competition definition, winner, loser. Who's the winner? Who's the loser? That's how you compete. There's a winner, and then there's a loser. I say, but competition, that was not the original definition. There was another definition. The first definition, competition, to strive together. Strive together? Yeah. In other words, you can look at a tennis match and say, there was a winner and there was a loser. I say, but the loser didn't really lose. I say, why? Because he's gaining the consciousness and ability to become a winner. Mm-hmm. That the competition is going to make the loser better. If you're a tennis player and you play only weak individuals, your game will not only be static, you may even get more sloppy in playing the game. You want to be a tennis player, you want to be a good tennis player, then you got to play better people because it makes you perform better, okay? So competition didn't emphasize there was a loser. It emphasized there was a learner, someone who learned something from being in competition, learned how to do it better. That was the original plan. But today, winner or loser, I don't care if as long as I'm the winner, I don't care if you're the loser, when in reality, that's self-destruction. Because now look where we are. 1%, they say, it's far less than 1% of the population owns more than half of the planet's resources. It's like, and I say, well, what does that mean? I say that 99% of the people are competing to do what? Get the scraps that are left of those resources. And are they competing in a moral way? Morality doesn't have anything to do with it. I need to win. Whatever way I win, it doesn't make any difference. I go, that's the problem. Because it breaks civilization down into fighting individuals looking for their piece of the pie to become part of the fittest to survive the struggle for life. And the whole idea was two things were wrong with that survival of the fittest in the struggle for life. Number one, struggle for life. That is a philosophy that is 100% wrong. There's no reason for us to struggle. Why? There's enough food for everybody. Oh, well, you're eating way too much and it's killing you. So if you actually reduce your intake, there'll be food for everybody. More than enough on this planet for everybody that's here. Okay? So struggle is a misunderstanding of the drive force of life. It's not based on struggle. It's based on harmony. Okay? Survival of the fittest. That part is based on competition. I go, it's not competition. It's cooperation. And all of a sudden I say, oh my God, the entire theory is undermining civilization. I go, yes, it is. Because everybody's out there competing at the cost of losers. And tough to be a loser. Could cause a lot of violence, and it will.
You were mentioning earlier Buckminster Fuller, where he talks about this need to build a new civilization.
Yes.
So many people right now are talking about this new earth that is emerging and feeling called to become stewards and leaders inside that new earth and be builders of that vision. What would you inspire someone to, if they have that resonance, if they have that feeling toward building the new earth, what would you like to say to those people?
Thank you very much. I would say that because that is the foundation of evolution. Native Americans knew this thousands of years ago. I go, what? They knew they lived in a garden. And as a result of that knowledge, they took it upon themselves to be gardeners and take care of the ecosystem. We have since lost that, obviously. We're not gardeners, we're destructors of the environment. We're stomping out the garden, killing all the life in the garden, and that is true. So the simple understanding is this. As I said, we can no longer continue this way of, extracting all the oil and then burning it and polluting the planet with it. These kinds of things. So the idea of monoculture, which is destructive for conventional agriculture and the garden. The garden is not a monoculture, all diversity, living in harmony, okay? So we're destroying the web of life. We're destroying the physical planet. Why? Because we're pillaging it. We're not being gardeners. And the idea is we are the garden, as I mentioned. And so the new way of living on this planet is take back the job of what? Being a gardener. Supporting the vitality of the garden rather than pillaging its proceeds. starting to learn to recognize that, you might not like the insects, yeah, but if you don't have any bees, what are you going to do? And we're losing bee populations so fast because of the environment is toxic with all our chemicals. And I say, yeah, but bees are what pollinate the plants. And without pollinators, there are no plants. So it's like, ooh, maybe we should take care of the bees. I go, isn't that part of the job of refurbishing the ecosystem? So, Emilio, those jobs that you mentioned, those are the future jobs. And I want to bring it up, it's a good point. Why? Because young people today see the world as hopeless. It's falling apart. They don't have jobs. They can't afford to even get their own apartment, buy a house. Come on, you can't even get an apartment alone. You have to share. I go, why? Because the corporations have taken all the money out, and you're living on less and less and less all the time. And so the relevance about this is you look at it and say, it's hopeless. I got a college degree and they want me to sell hamburgers at McDonald's because that's the job. I go, that's not the job, my friends, young people. The job is what Emilio just said. They're unfolding. They're all new jobs, not any of these other ones. They're new. They're gardening jobs, supporting the air, the soil, the water, creating, cleaning up the environment, and planting, in a sense of planting a garden. These jobs are opening up, and you, young people, are the primary people that will be populating those jobs. So while it looks hopeless at the moment because you couldn't get a good job at General Motors, it's like, so what? General Motors crashing anyway. Why? That kind of vehicle stuff is outdated and destructive. Your job is water purification, windmills, solar energy, uh, creating biocorridors to help the garden continue growing. Because we are pushing animals and plants into a situation they can't survive because we destroyed the ecosystem. So everywhere you look, whether it's taking care of the fish, yeah, we've overfished everything. Science has recognized 2048, no fish left in the ocean, no natural fish left in the ocean because overfishing, destroying the breeding ground, polluting the ocean. And it's like, so what are you going to do about it? Clean it up, fix it up. That's a job, my friends. And so I just want the young people to know, it looks hopeless. It's moving in a better direction because it can't continue this way. It has to create the new workforce with the new mission statements that Emilio just mentioned.
What new missions do you see also emerging in the realms of consciousness and the new science and even perhaps technology going forward?
Well, it's interesting because now that AI has finally hit the big-time mainstream world, people recognize, oh my God, we're going to lose jobs. I go, yeah, that's a fact. I go, why? It's like, AI can do a job better than you for many of these jobs. And then they say, yeah, but what about me? I say, less work, but more important work that's coming. Do we need as much? No, that's where the problem is. Your belief that you need is what's driving the problem of more and more resources to fill those needs at the cost of the planet. So how do I see this future showing up in that regard? And I go, there's going to be more free time. There's going to be better jobs and more free time. And the emphasis is this: we don't have to spend money in the amounts that we are spending today. The amount of food, how much money that's taking from your wallet, especially because climate change has thrown a monkey wrench in agriculture. We're not producing as much food because weather determines the growth of plants, and if the weather becomes erratic, like it is, the plants aren't growing. Like here in the U.S., Kansas, in the middle of the U.S., is like one of the big producers of wheat. As well, the Midwest grows wheat. I go, so what? This year, Kansas is not going to really have a wheat harvest. Why? The wheat didn't grow. Too much water, too much hot, too much dry. Off these cycles, they're all off. I say, so what? I say, wheat is going to cost you some more money. And then anything made with wheat is going to cost you more money. And all you start to see is one thing building on top of another. And we're spending all this money. And the idea is, do we need to spend this money? I'm going to say something, and I hope some people don't freak out. But here's the point. Before industrialization of agriculture, what did the world eat? From China to Tibet to Japan to South America, what do people eat? Rice and beans. I go, why? Because A, it was abundant. And B, today, it's the least expensive food in the supermarket. Because we enhanced it with, let's have a filet. Let's get some fresh caught salmon. I said, what salmon? You already caught all of them. I said, what was the point? Food prices are going to kill people if they depend on the fact that they think they need all this other food. When it turns out there's something new that people, you don't even know about it. Nobody knows. I know. Why? Because I'm following the leading edge of science. You know what? 90% of the energy used to drive the human body comes straight from the environment. Straight out of the environment. I go, huh? Well, where do you think plants get the food that they make? All that carbohydrates and all the energy they produce. Where do they get that from? The sun. An energy field. I go, now listen to this. 90% of the energy required in animal cells come from a protein called melanin, pigment. I go, well, pigment, it's the animal version of chloroplast, which translates the energy into food, okay, for the plant. Pigment in the human takes electromagnetic energy fields from the environment and converts that into biological energy. 90% of your energy you don't need food for. That's a belief system. And that's that belief system, and then you say, supersize me. I go, you already were destroying the environment at the amount you were making. Supersize me takes us to another level of destruction. And what does this mean personally? Listen to this. The average human lifespan should be 150 years average. I go, yeah, but we celebrate if you get to 100. I said, that's 2/3 of a lifespan. That third, that was lost from doing what? This is going to blow your mind. Eating too much food. I go, how can I eat too much food besides making me fat, which is obesity? It's a big problem. How can I eat? When you digest something, you are burning fuel. Food is fuel. Digestion is burning the fuel to release the energy. I go, so what? When you burn a fuel, not only do you get energy, but you also get pollution and toxic elements. So, for example, Gasoline drives the car. You burn the fuel. Don't breathe the exhaust pipe. Why? Toxic as hell. Digesting food warms up your body. You can feel it. The heat of the body is a fire of metabolism. Okay? And then I say, what about it? I say, burning food has a waste product that is toxic. I go, what? What? They're charged atoms or ions called free radicals. Free radical? I say, yeah, these atoms, charged, highly charged, shoot holes in cells and kill cells. I go, whoa, the more food I digest, the more free radicals I'm killing myself. It's a fact of life, okay? Emilio, let me give a fact that could blow everybody's minds right here. I love it. This is a fact that you don't know, but here's a fact. You ready? Every second, 3.5 million cells die in your body. 3.5 million cells just died. 3.5 million cells just died. 3.5 million cells just died. Well, we have 50 trillion. You don't see the numbers. 3.5 million is like pennies on the dollar. It's a small amount. But if you don't replace them, you're going to die. So I said, well, what replaces those cells dying every second? 3.5 million cells. 3.5 million cells. Stem cells. Fancy name for embryonic cell. In your population of cells in your body, there are embryonic cells that are like the future building blocks. So as cells die, stem cells reproduce and create the replacements. So as you're killing your cells, you're also killing a percent of your stem cells. I go, so what's the meaning? Well, if you keep eating, digesting too much, you start to run out of stem cells. Now, as the cells are dying 3.5 million every second, now you pay the price. And the price is early death. From what? Thinking you were replenishing the energy that you were programmed that you have to have. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Get the energy running. Supersize my dinner. Give me more energy. Well, you're destroying the planet. You're destroying the environment. You know where? Inside and outside. To eat that much food, you're destroying the internal environment. To eat that much food, you're destroying the external environment. Hey, there's a problem showing up right here. And the idea about it, it has so many ramifications. Extend your life, eat less. Do you have to eat all these things? I say, no. Simple people ate simple food. And that simple food gave them, why rice and beans? Not an accident. It takes 20 specific amino acids to build the human body. Rice and beans, when you put them together, provide all 20 amino acids. It is the fundamental food. Does it have to be, it's rice and beans? I go, hey, how Japanese eat rice and beans is not how Spanish people eat rice and beans. I go, what's the point? Hey, they're all different ways of preparing rice and beans. And I hope I'm not scaring you by telling you a push to the rice and beans reason. Number one, you can't afford the expensive stuff anymore, okay? And number two, it's the cheapest stuff in the market. Guess what? The most important food is the cheapest stuff in the market. And if you learn how to be a wizard in the kitchen, you can prepare rice and beans in so many different ways and enjoy it. So, good news, bad news. Bad news, you can't afford to buy the food because the prices are just going up, and climate change is going to make it more difficult to buy food every day because climate change is throwing a monkey wrench into agriculture. How can you harvest a crop if you don't know what the weather is going to be? There's the problem you haven't been talking about. Yeah, production is way down. When production is way down, price is way up. And the more the production goes down, the higher the price, and can you afford it? Not so much anymore. You can afford garbage, and that is what a lot of industrial food is turned into, the cheapest garbage, no nutrition, but filling, so you'll feel satisfied. I ate that meal, and now I'm full. I said, yeah, did you get any nutrition out of it? Oh, I never care about that. I just want to be full. I go, not paying attention, are you? And this is the issue. I keep talking, Emilio, when I should be less talkative and respond to the insight you offer.
I love that we went in that direction, and it's really an insight into extending aging and what happens when our body is in harmony and the cells are functioning in the way they're supposed to. You mentioned this analogy of being a wizard in the kitchen. I wanted to scope that out into becoming wizards in our own life, because you talk about a lot in your own personal life when you've had voices, or not voices, a voice guiding and directing you in your life. And sometimes you're looking and saying, am I in a movie? So what insights have you gathered around, and many people are stepping into this field of awareness that not only are we creating it, but there's synchronicity, there's magic, there's deep intuition, there's even abilities within the human being that are coming out as we speak. I would love to go really deep into that as well.
Well, one of the major aspects of the evolution that's coming is to recognize spirituality as a science, not as a belief. Oh, I believe in spirit. No. There's a science of spirituality. I say, what does it mean? It says that there's an energy field that we are downloading into the human body, and that this energy field is us. No two bodies are the same in the entire world of 8 billion people. I go, what do you mean they're not the same? I say, we cannot put our organs or cells into another human without that human who receives those organs and cells, their immune system rejecting and killing the transplant. I go, why does the immune system kill the transplant? Because the immune system can distinguish self from not self. I say, yeah, I put cells from somebody else in my body. My immune system goes, whose cells are those? Those aren't yours. So there's an identity. And no two people have the same identity. Where is this identity the immune system is seeing? And the first thing is this. The immune system sees physical things, viruses, bacteria, parasites. It can see my cells as different than your cells. So there's something physical that is marking me to be different than you, and you different from everybody else. I go, what were the immune system looking at? On the surface of our cells are proteins called receptors. Receptor means receiver. There's a set of proteins on the surface of your cells, not the red blood cells, that distinguish self. That's why you can transplant red blood cells, no problem. These receptors aren't there. But on cells that have a nucleus, there's a set of protein receptors, antennas. That's what the receptor is, receiver. If you don't have input to the television from outside the television, then there's nothing on the television, okay? So these are called self-receptors. No two people in the whole world have the same set of self-receptors as you have in your body. I go, so what? They're antennas. They're capturing a signal. I say, what is a signal? It's not a signal of muscle, liver, or bone. It's a signal of identity. Your identity as a unique individual is downloaded through these antennas on the surface of the cell. Not inside the cell, on the surface. I say, what does that mean? Your identity is coming from outside the cell. I said, where's it coming from? Analogy, which is 100% accurate here. Ready? The body is a television set. The self receptors are the antenna to download the program. That the body plays a program. You're watching the Bruce show right now. In the other screen, you're watching the Emilio show. I go, a show doesn't arrive or arise inside the television. The show is a broadcast received by the television. I go, okay, now what? The self-receptors are downloading an energy field, a field of energy. You're surrounded by energy, wherever you are. Cell phone broadcast, radio broadcast, television broadcast, solar energy. You're in an energy field, okay? Field, I love this. Definition. Invisible moving forces that influence the physical world. That's the definition of field. Oh, wait. Spirit. Definition. Invisible moving forces that influence the physical world. I go, that's why the new science, not so new, 100 years old, quantum physics acknowledges spirit as an energy field picked up by these antennas. And then I go, okay, now what does all this mean? I go, let's say you're watching a TV and it breaks. Show's off, not working, won't do anything. The TV is dead. Yep. Question, is the broadcast still there? The show? Of course. Why? It wasn't part of the TV. It was downloaded in TV. So what's the point? The field, also called spirit, is an immortal energy field. The TV bodies come and go. I say, well, what do you mean come and go? I say, let's say your television, your body today dies. Now you're the broadcast. There's no body. Just get rid of me. You put the broadcast here, okay? And an embryo shows up with the same set of antennas you have right now. You're back. Different TV.
Reincarnation?
100% scientific. And I go, and what's the relevance? And there's two relevances right now about that. Number one, does it make a difference if the new TV is male or female? Nope. You're the broadcast. You are not the TV. Okay? Number two, does it make a difference if the TV is brown, white, black, yellow, red? I go, no. You're the broadcast. You're not the TV. All of us come from the same broadcast field. It's like a band on the radio. Let's say you're in FM, and you turn the dial, and here's a station. And then you turn the dial, and here's another station. And you turn the dial, and here's another station. We're on the human band, and each of us has our own station. And then I say, so what does this mean? And if you put it together, it's like, oh my God. Number one, you're immortal. Why? Your field never died, okay? Number two, you ready? Your life experiences while in this TV are influencing the broadcast. So it's not just the broadcast coming in and down, it's the life experience going up and out. So every time you're in your TV and living your life, you're influencing the field that came in by sending information back, okay? That becomes very, very critical because it says every life alters your field slightly. Oh, there's a word for that. Karma. Karma is how you've altered the field. And you are given an opportunity when you come back to adjust that karma. So when you really know who you are, you can live a life to balance the karma. I go, what does that mean? Then you're living good karma instead of the bad karma, which causes us to go through the lessons of life, okay? But putting all this together, then it says all of us came from the same field, the human energy field. Well, let's give a name to it. This is going to blow your mind. Let's try it out. The human energy field collective for 8 billion people, God. I said, how can I go? Huh? I said, you are a creator. Every one of you out there is a creator. You are creating your personal life experience. So each of us, we are creators, but just for us. Then I say, yeah, but what about the creator for 8 billion people collectively? They all come from the same energy field. I go, yeah. The Akashic record is what? All the histories with all the human experiences that never died because the field doesn't die. Field's always here. So there's so much what was spiritually based or mythologically predicated. Oh, that can't be real. I go, no, karma is real. Akashic record is real. Reincarnation is real. Being a creator, that's a real thing. God is what we all create. If we created all in harmony at the same time, then the planet would be what? Heaven. And that's what happens when you fall in love. You become the actual creator at that moment of your life. Up till then, you're a victim of a program. But when you fall in love, you stop playing the program and you start creating. The Matrix, science fiction, no. Documentary, yes. Why? Matrix, everybody's programmed. We go, that's the reality of life. Every human is programmed in the first 7 years and downloads behaviors by observing the world, the people, the parents, the community, downloading. We are playing programs, okay? The conscious mind is the creative one. The subconscious mind is the program. Some programs are good. Walking is a great program. I'm glad I have that, okay? Some programs are bad. Doing something toxic to yourself is a bad program, okay? So putting all this stuff that Lipton's trying to get into your head is this. We're all creators. But you're only creating scientifically 5% of the day because 95% is coming from the program of belief you downloaded from the world around you. The collective beliefs of everybody manifest the experience of this planet. But when you stop playing the beliefs and start using the creator mind, the spirit-based conscious mind, then you actually change your creation. When you fall in love, you can have your life blah, 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 blah. Fall in love, 24 hours later, life is beautiful. I love my life. Heaven on earth. Life. I can't wait to wake up and share more life with my love. I'm having the greatest experience here. It's heaven on earth. I go, aha! That was the point. You were programmed, misprogrammed, to believe that if you have a good life and you die, you go to heaven. I go, no, you see, no. You were born into heaven. I go, it doesn't look like heaven. It's violence and pollution and blah, blah. I go, that's personal creation. Because if you were in love, you wouldn't be creating that. You are creating from the program. Other people programmed you and took away your power, and you are manifesting their program, self-destruction. And the reality is, wake up. You are creating, but you're creating from a program. And 60% or more of the programs that you download in that first 7 years are disempowering, self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs. And you operate 95% of your life from those programs, and they sabotage you. and you think you're running your life, I go, no, your program is running your life. And so the whole idea I want to say is what? You were born into heaven. You came here to create. And when you find that love, which is harmony, because fear is disharmony, love is harmony. When you're living in love, you're living in harmony. When you're living in harmony, you're living in this world. I go, so why should I have this body if I'm a spirit? I go, because the body gives you sensation. Huh? What do you mean? I said, give me a definition of love. You can write a definition of love. I said, yeah, but the body gives you a feeling of love. The body gives you feelings. Love, happiness, joy, anger, fear, jealousy. Oh, those are feelings. I say, they didn't come from the spirit. They were a manifestation of the body expressing the behavior. And you are sending it back to source. And the point about it is what? We came here to live in heaven. And yet we have been programmed to live in hell. And you're playing the program thinking you're a victim because you don't see your own participation. You see what people are doing to you, but you don't see what you're broadcasting. Because what you're broadcasting is disharmony. And then you're manifesting disharmony. What you send out, you get back. When you're in love, guess what? You love a lot of things. Things you didn't like before. Oh, that crappy job. Well, it's not so bad anymore. I'm in love. You know, it's like, oh, it changes the attitude. We came here to sense and experience heaven on earth. And if you do something and it doesn't feel good, then the point is simple. Don't do it again. And if you do something that feels good, say, oh, that's a good place to go. And I say, well, it's more than just feelings. Why? The body is a mechanism. To do what? Manifest. What? Whatever you're thinking about. Health, happiness, joy, anger, fear, war. You're manifesting. And so between you came here to manifest and you came here to sense the world, that is the definition of heaven. So the whole point is don't waste your life thinking, I'll try and be real good. I hope I get to heaven. I go, you're here now. And if you understand it, you can have it now. Take that red pill. Falling in love. Oh, wait, does that mean I have to fall in love with another person? No. You can fall in love with a pet. Oh, yeah? Oh, what else? Oh, gardening? Oh, yeah. If you love gardening, when you're gardening, you're living in your creative experience of joy, putting your hands in the dirt and making things grow. That's heaven on earth. Being a chef, oh yeah. Cooking is an experience of manifestation, of creation, and making people happy with your food is living heaven on earth, okay? Being an artist, doing things that just make you feel good. Because when you're doing something that makes you feel good, you are not thinking of the negative stuff. It's a meditation to do a job that you like. Why? Because you focus on the job and not think, oh my God, what a terrible day. What a terrible planet. Oh, did you see the news? No, I'm cooking in the kitchen. Don't show me the news, man. What's the point? It's your choice of where you want to focus. But you've been programmed to focus on the things that they want you. They, corporations, government, pharmaceutical company, military-industrial complex. They put those thoughts of negativity into your life. And you're the one, if you buy it, you manifest it. Why? You're a creator. I can create good. I can create bad. I'm a creator. Oh, it's a choice. You didn't even know you had that, did you? It's a choice. Amelia, I'm running off at the mouth and talking a lot.
I love how you tie these topics together. There was one like epiphany I sort of wanted to bring forth
Yeah,
because when we're talking about the spirit and it doesn't change throughout the different bodies and we have different bodies depending on the lifetimes and that information that we have in a lifetime gets stored in the spirit, why doesn't the information get passed down from lifetimes from previous experiences that we've had? I know actually some people that are starting to remember and have insight into other periods of time where they lived or they had a different
yeah,
family, different body. What is going on there? And maybe if you thought about it or contemplated it in your own
yeah.
way.
Basically, let's say I came in and my life was in disharmony. Everything was wrong. I was bad. I destroyed things. I destroyed people. I destroyed the garden. That vibration is going to alter my source, not in a very positive way. Let's say there's two extremes: harmony, noise. Noise is not harmony. Okay, harmony is when you're living in harmony. Noise is when you're living in a situation where it breaks up all that harmony. The idea is we came from harmony, garden. The garden is harmony. But when we started to create, our creation was altered by the programming, and that put us into noise. And the idea is, you came here to create. Why don't you come here to create heaven? Oh, because the noise from previous experiences are altering my trip now. I go, this is this is my personal belief. The genes you picked and the family you picked, you did that by intention. It was no accident. I go, why? You came to learn something, and you picked the genetics in the family that put you in a situation to learn. Now, you may learn or you may not learn through the life. And if you don't learn, you're still coming back to work on it again. But if you start to learn, all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I've been living out of disharmony. Oh my God, I've been bad to people. I've been bad to myself. Oh my God. And I start to change the way I live, and I start to get into harmony, then the idea of heaven on earth is a personal life experience at that moment. That's what heaven on earth is. Heaven on earth is you created what you wished for, what you desired, and not created what other people have programmed you to create, which is the way it's operating at this moment. So yeah, it's very important to recognize we didn't get here by accident. We are an evolution of a system, and that system is self-consciousness when we fully get it. Lower organisms do not have that. And self-consciousness is the one that frees you from the program of life. Well, yeah, this is a natural program. The turtles lay their eggs on the beach at a certain time, certain within days. You want to go, oh, this is the week the turtles are laying their eggs. Why wasn't it other weeks? It's part of environmental pattern, okay? And organisms on a lower level, including people, will conform to the pattern of the energy fields. When you become conscious, you are able to live independently of the existing energy fields. I'll give you a very interesting example. Astrology reads energy fields. That's its job, the energy fields from the planets and the suns, okay? A real astrologer will not do a reading on somebody until they find out how conscious they are. If they're not conscious really, then the reading is just read the field, they're going to manifest it, okay? But as people become conscious, their ability is to disengage from the field and therefore not respond to the signals that everybody else is responding to. They become independent. Self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is I'm not downloading consciousness. I'm manifesting consciousness. And that's the intention. Now, most people are not there at this moment. They have the ability to be there, but their programming has removed that power. Self-consciousness is a power, but if you don't exercise self-consciousness, then you're a programmable consciousness. And that's where most people are, unfortunately, with the necessity or idea of it's time to wake up. And you've been so blind to the fact that you play programs, you don't know you're playing a program. I've told a story for years in a lecture, same story. You have a friend, you know your friend's behavior very, very well. And you happen to know your friend's parent. And one day you see your friend has the exact same behavior as the parent, and you just got to say it. You say, hey, Bill, you're just like your dad. And I can tell you what, back away from Bill because I know exactly what Bill said to you. Bill said, how can you compare me to my father? I'm nothing like my father. And I go, interesting point. Everybody else in the world can see that Bill behaves like his father, except for Bill. He can't see it. And all of a sudden I go, guess what? We're all Bill. We're living the program we downloaded from our fathers, our mothers, and our community. And we are the ones that cannot see it. And the simple conclusion, which is, I don't want to get way into it because it's another hour here, but very simply this, is that the conscious mind, the creator mind, can look at your eyes. Imagine your body is like a vehicle and the eyes are looking out the windshield and you got your hands on the wheel and you're driving to where? Wishes and desires when you're operating from that conscious mind. I said, but the conscious mind, as the driver, may not be looking out the window. I said, what do you mean? Because the conscious mind can think. I go, so? Thinking is not looking out. Thinking is looking in. A thought is on the inside. The moment you're thinking, you are no longer looking outside. You have directed your conscious attention to a thought 95% of the day. I say, conclusion? That only leaves 5% for your conscious mind to be looking out the window and driving you to wishes and desires. Because 95% of the day you're playing the programs, most of which are disempowering. And like Bill, because you're thinking, you cannot see your own program, but everybody else does see the program. And if it's a negative program, they respond to you in a negative way. And I say, why are these people being so mean? I said, you didn't even see what you just said to them. You didn't see your own behavior. That probably wasn't very good, and they're just returning. If you put bad out, bad comes in. You put good out, good comes in. Mm-hmm. And so the idea about it is this. Are you controlling your life? I say, maybe 5% of the time. Your programs are doing the rest. And if they're negative programs, then the potential of creating heaven turns into the reality of creating hell. We create both depending on what the programs are.
Bruce, what are synchronicities in that line of thought?
That the energy field of who we are sees further than our eyes in our physical world see. So our energy field is reading an energy fields around us and can interpret those energy fields. Well, the mind hasn't even seen them yet, okay? And so the idea is what? When we meet people that are important in our lives, it turns out that wasn't an accident. that was their energy field at that time being in harmony with your energy field, and as a result bringing the two fields together. When that synchronicity, wow, what a coincidence. I just met this person doing the same thing I was doing. I go, that wasn't a coincidence. That was a shared energy field. And the idea is when we allow our consciousness to guide us, it will always take us to a better place. If you let the program guide you, that could sabotage your entire life, and generally does. And so synchronicity is an energy field picked up by consciousness and responding to the energy field even before the physical field experienced it, that we were there already.
I've heard you say that it's our heart that reads these energy fields.
The heart, that's the important part. The information is coming in. Oh, yeah, it can come in through my ears and my eyes and nose and stuff and go right into my brain. Yes, I go. But the information is a field. And our brain is based on previous experiences. We learn perceptions, okay? We also learn misperceptions. So the significance is simply this. I have to make a decision in my life, very important decision. First thing I do is think, give me the positive aspects of this decision. And then you say, and what are the negative consequences of this decision? And then you weigh out positive and negative, and then you try to get a balance and make a decision based on that. And I go, this would work if all your perceptions were accurate. But if you have a misperception you acquired, and you interpret part of that potential using a misperception, is taking you off the path, okay? So all of a sudden I say, well, thinking is fraught with one problem. What is the balance of your accurate perceptions versus your misperceptions? And I say, you have a lot of misperception because a lot of programming took us off, okay? And I say, so why is the heart different? The heart doesn't read perception. The heart reads vibration, energy. I say, so what? I say, well, energy reading is easy. Harmony, disharmony, and a gradation. So when you have to make a decision, if you use your head, you're balancing based on, I believe this, I believe that, I believe this, and that's the consequence. But if you say, okay, I did that, which I say, yeah, go ahead and do that. Good exercise, okay? Brings up ideas, okay? But before you make a decision, it's the feeling that counts. I go, why? The feeling is just the energy. No perception is involved. Is the energy in harmony with you, or is the energy in disharmony with you? The heart knows harmony and disharmony. It's got feelings. It can feel. Should I do this? That's what the final question is. You're given a choice. You think about it. That's using the mind. Okay, make a decision based on your perception, good or bad. And then you say, I'm going to do it. And I said, before you say, I'm going to do it, do this. Go to your heart and say, if I do this, is this good? And the answer is this. A feeling will come from it. If the feeling says, yeah, this is great, then go. But if the feeling is hesitant or edgy, like, I'm not so sure, reconsider. It's the energy that is life. Life is energy. So when you follow harmony and high energy, you're moving into a better life. And that's why the heart becomes a great mechanism, because it's a sensory receptor and can receive those signals.
Beautiful. I love talking to you, brother, and I could go on for the next 10 hours if we could.
And I probably have something to say, being as verbose as I am. I got more words. Yeah.
I did every podcast we end with a segment called the final trio, which are a few questions that we ask at the end. Before that, I know you have the new book that I told you I looked into. When was the last time Bruce wrote a book? 2014. or something around
Whew.
that
That was
year.
yesterday, wasn't it?
That was
It's been
yesterday. So it's been a minute. And now, this August, you are coming out with literally a culmination of a lot of your life's work. You're debating whether it's your last book or not, but I wanted to give you the space to share a little bit about the process and the creative process behind that and where people can find it when it's out.
yeah, coming in August 18. The new book, Beyond Darwin: How Epigenetics, Quantum Science, and Cooperation Shape Humanity's Future, is what we talked about in the beginning of this program, Emilio, a program about learning to live in harmony and recognizing the nature of the program, recognizing that Darwinian theory is very destructive. It makes us a victim where we don't feel health is out of our control. And also leads us to that world of competition in a winner-loser context. And that competition has been destroying the people and destroying the ecosystem, because Darwinian program is wrong and Darwin is false, and yet we run our civilization predicated on Darwinian theory. It's wrong. And Beyond Darwin gives us a new theory that evolution is not based on genetics, it's based on consciousness. The tree of life, oh, everyone says it was the genes that were getting more and more complex, and that's not true. Humans have a significantly low number of genes, the same as some very primitive organisms on this planet. We don't have any more genes. It's the evolution of the nervous system that the tree of life represents. And we're at that pinnacle part where what? Self-consciousness, of the ability to regulate our own consciousness without the interference of the world around us. And understanding your power gives you that creative power. And all of a sudden I say, yeah, and you probably touched it. I said, at times when you fell in love and you experienced the world and that I love my life moment. Well, when you understand the nature of the science behind this, epigenetics and quantum science, and you recognize a simple truth, you can have the honeymoon experience every day for as long as you live on this planet. Every day you can wake up and go, oh my God, I'm still here. I love this place. I learned that because that wasn't the way my life was. And for 30 years, I wake up every day with my partner, Margaret, with love, based on good programming that we rewrote the programs that were challenging and put in programs that encouraged us to have heaven on earth.
Beautiful. You're known as the doctor beyond, right? Beyond belief, and all of this notion around how our minds are much more powerful than we believe to be so. And 2 years ago, they found a benign tumor on your tongue.
No, they found a malignant tumor.
Malignant tumor. And I wanted to just give you the space to maybe share with us around what that experience was like for you and how you were called to, let's say, put what you were teaching into practice in that way and heal so quickly as it went from being malignant, as you were mentioning, to harmless at the end of the day.
Yeah. Basically, it's called biology of belief. Why did I get cancer in my tongue? Well, what was my job? Lecturing. And if the tongue wasn't working, no lecturing. But that was my career. And the point about it was this. For 20 years, I have known about that the theory of evolution by Darwin was wrong and challenging, causing all the problems. And for 20 years, I knew the significance of epigenetics and the influence of quantum science in creating our world. And I never wrote it. And for a lot of it, was like, I'd say to myself, who do you think you are? You're going to write a theory of evolution. You're just Bruce. And I kept lecturing and lecturing to the point, oh, I'm not writing, I'm busy lecturing. And the universe said, shut up. Write the damn book. And I did. I stopped lecturing because I couldn't. And I wrote the book. And the book is on its way out. And my ability to speak, not fully 100%, but I can speak and sound not like an idiot. And so the recognition was what? Understanding the message. I didn't go to my biology old thing, oh, I must have a tongue gene that's cancerous. I go, no, it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with I was not living in harmony with my own consciousness. And my consciousness was saying, it's time to write this book because the world is in a state of evolutionary upheaval. And the book is the understanding of evolution beyond Darwin.
Wow. I did not know that story. And thank you so much for sharing it. I mean, we are blessed to be able to hear you again speak, and even more blessed that wealth of information is also stored in a written format that will last through generations.
Yeah, people can take it home with them, and to me, knowledge is power, and I'm offering them knowledge that corrects misperceptions that have been unconsciously directing their lives with misperception, especially about victimization and competition, which are destructing our planet at this moment.
Bruce, the last question I have for you today is, after everything that you've learned about biology, consciousness, evolution, spirituality, and human potential, what mystery still leaves you in awe?
I'm beyond the mysteries. I'm trying to live all the things that I had to teach myself. That I live to wake up every day and go, oh my God, I'm still alive. I'm over 80 and I'm not ready to leave. Why? I finally understood that I have heaven. I don't want to leave heaven yet. And so I'm taking all the things I've learned and just applying them to enjoy love and fun and life and ecosystem and enjoying the experience of being alive on planet Earth. The mystery to me is like, okay, the mystery was how come my life was a shambles? Oh, resolution, knowledge, life's not a shambles. Not now. Now is the joy of being alive.
Beautifully said. Bruce, thank you so much for all that you do, who you are, the inspiration that you are for the future generations. And I know that I will be telling my grandchildren about the times when I would have conversations with you and how blessed I was. And I really appreciate your time today and the heart that you radiate and the excitement and the joy and the wisdom that you share. So I appreciate you so much.
I appreciate you for helping the world doing what you are doing and allowing me to be a participant in your effort to help the world. Thank you, Emilio.